Hey there YouTube, welcome back to another, I suppose you could call this a black powder update, with a little bit of something else thrown in. Got a few things to talk about in this update. The first thing that I'm going to do is to basically show you some stuff that I've got my hands on since my last update. Starting with the item I was expecting first, the last time I made an update, and that was the Victrix 1812 to 1815 artillery set, which of course Wayland Games sent me the wrong one. They sent me the 1805 to 1812, I think it was. No, 1804 to 1812. So yeah, I've got my hands on these guys now, and I've got to say that I'm pretty chuffed with them actually. I'll just quickly give you a quick view of them. Like I say, I got these guys direct from Victrix, and I suppose they're still pretty good value, even with the fact that you have to pay £4 postage, which is a little bit extensive. But I mean, what I can see from the looks of these cannons, they look pretty spiffing. And of course, you get your choice of 6-pounder or howitzer. And each cannon comes with 5 crew, which is kind of cool. And of course, the other cool thing is that these ones actually included instructions, where my other 2 sets didn't have any instructions at all. So that was kind of strange. But yeah, I'm pretty chuffed to have got my hands on those. Secondly, I had the Waterloo mounted infantry officers come again, and again obviously these are the ones I originally wanted, and Wayland sent me the Peninsula ones, if you remember back to my old update. So I'm chuffed to have got hold of these guys now. What I'm going to do for the French, because I basically need another set of French mounted officers because obviously my 2 brigade idea is now kind of spawned into 4 brigades now, possibly 3 or 4. So I kind of have to get hold of another pack of French, and I think what I'll probably do is I'll probably get those from Perry's, because I really do like the look of those guys. The British cannons look pretty cool, but the thing I really didn't like about them is that one of them is kind of a Highland officer, and I've really got no need for any Highland troops, because I don't think there's any in the sort of core, the army that I'm building, or at least basing my armies on. So that's kind of the plans for those. I also, funnily enough, I got that set from Wayland again. I think I was kind of lucky in the fact that where everything was out of stock a couple of months before Christmas, they must have literally just got their stocks in sort of like late January. Well, so I suppose it would be middle of January actually. And I actually managed to pick up those mounted officers, and I also managed to pick up a box of British Perry's infantry, which I really wanted, because I kind of wanted a change from the bog standard sort of position that the sort of warlord troops are in. And I must say that I think the plastic command in this set is actually a lot better than the French plastic command that you get in the French Perry set. And I must admit, I do quite like the sort of the slightly different array of poses that you get, which means you can kind of have some in a sort of like an action pose rather than just bog standard marching. My plans for these guys are to actually to add some warlord guys and make 2 battalions of British troops out of these guys, and they're basically going to end up becoming, got the flags already for these guys, the 73rd Foot and the 69th Regiment. So that's the plans for that box set and some extra Warlord guys. Okay, so that's all the sort of items update for this little update report. Now the final thing, a couple of things to go. I've actually managed to get hold of something else which you could say it's definitely unrelated to black powder, but it's something that I said to myself that I would be interested in getting once they actually released Crew for, and that was the Cruel Seas set, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have already got yourselves. And like I say, the thing I kind of said to myself that I don't really want to get it until they release Crew. And funnily enough, they released Crew, so I've got Kriegsmarine and Royal Navy Crew, which I think when you put them into the bridges of the torpedo boats will make them look a lot cooler. So that's those guys, although I'm not in any particular rush to start doing stuff for that yet. But I'm kind of chuffed that I got it, and I do think it's quite good value. And like I say, I'm kind of not really in the groove to actually do anything like that at the moment. The last thing is that I actually managed to paint up my Perry's French cannon. So I'll bring it in and show you. I'm just going to bring up this white box here, because it's kind of starting to get dark. So I've got the light on, and it's kind of not really. It's one of those energy saving bulbs which are not exactly the masters of producing strong light. So here it is. I had a little bit of experimentation with the colour of the cannon, because obviously French cannons got this sort of a strange olivey type green, and funnily enough, the colour that I originally, I'm just going to put this down for a second. I'll give you a proper look of it in a second. I'll just bring it to shot. The colour that I originally was going to use for this was this colour here, Panzer Ace's Italian Tank Crew, which I thought was pretty good, but I just kind of I posted a picture up and asked for some advice on one of the forums, and some chap kindly said that and sort of supplied a picture of a French tank, and saying that this was the closest colour that he'd found to sort of match the actual the French artillery green, and hunting through my sort of mountain of paints, I managed to find this. So Panzer Ace's French Tank Crew, which I mean, I'm not no colour matching expert, but this colour more or less exactly matches that colour in that picture of that tank. So this is basically what I use. I use this as the base colour because it's darker, and then went over it in this, and I think it came out really cool. I'll give you sort of a closer look at it. So, and that's basically what I'm going to basically use for all of my French artillery now. I'm kind of dialed in on it, and you can see that I used the Vallejo mud to sort of help cake the wheels up a little bit, as if it's been pushed across a muddy field and pushed into position in front of a little sort of a rock outcrop in the middle of this muddy field. And you can see that it's not fully grassed; it's kind of sparsely grassed, and it's got some slate rocks and some wildflowers. And it's generally, although it's not a quagmire, it's a pretty soggy field. And of course, this particular crew have taken the wise decision to put long coats on, where the Victrix guys unfortunately won't be wearing long coats and they'll just be in their standard uniforms. But I do like this, the way this little set came out, and obviously the Victrix have got one extra crew member as well, which is kind of cool. So this is just work out perfect to have this as the sort of second gun of a battery, and of course it allows me to build two batteries of cannons out of the Victrix pack by adding this. Exactly the same as I plan to do with my British, actually. But you can see I really do like these Perry's guys. They've got like a mixture of water bottles. This guy's got like a sort of a cow skin cover over his back pouch, and we've got a mixture of covered and one uncovered Shaco. I'm pretty chuffed with how it's turned out. This little thing here is kind of cool. It's actually like a little diorama piece of like loads of stuff stuck together with like a rock. I really do like them, and I think it looks quite cool in front of the cannon there, as if they sort of pushed it up to that sort of particular point. And that's the end of that, and that's basically the end of this particular little tiny update. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be back fairly soon with what I decided to do next. It may well be another cannon, who knows. I'll catch you later.